Welcome to the Nerd Cave News. I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined along with Himdall has nothing on this hulking physique. It's Derek, defender of the Bifrost Daniels.
Oh, okay. I like that, especially goes with the God of War Ragnarok, mythology. So, yeah. So Heimdall or
Himdall.
Himdall.
How do you?
What was the name again?
It's defender of the Bifrost Daniels.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a Murdoch one from like in the past. Okay. Guys, we need your help. Okay. I'm sifting through old ones. I wrote the exposition on this one. I need your help. There's a link, or you can go in the chat right now. Put exclamation mark Derek. Write some Derek names for me for the love of all the things that are good and holy on this earth. Okay? I need good exposition. I need clever names. Things that would also slightly make fun of Derek is also okay. Just slightly. Just a little tongue in cheek, okay? Nothing awful.
Like slaughtering the pigs or milking the horses. Or no, slaughtering the horses, milking the pigs.
Yeah, you gotta milk the hogs. It's hogs.
Yeah.
You gotta milk the hogs and slaughter the horses.
Yeah.
No, Derek, we've been apart for a week.
Yeah.
And I've missed you. I've missed you something fierce.
Okay.
Something
I appreciate
fierce.
that. I missed you too.
And I am excited that tonight we got an awesome show, guys. We've got today, whenever you're watching this, we've got stories from Ubisoft Forward. We've got Xbox ID. I don't know if we put any of that in there, but Derek didn't do that.
No.
Bifrost over here didn't do his job. But anyway, there was an Xbox ID. There was a Call of Duty.
Okay.
PlayStation State of Play, Nintendo Direct, tons of stuff going on. Okay, tons of stuff going on. There was a new Overwatch character announced too. I don't know if he's got that either.
No,
but, man, you just
again, I gotta look. I had to make cuts somewhere, bro.
Murder your darlings. You know what I mean? You gotta just murder them. You ever heard that?
No. I've never heard that, honestly. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is not family friendly anymore.
It's from an editing standpoint. It's like whatever part that you really like, you just kill it anyway. So you can get it down.
In the restaurant industry?
Soldier 76, 86. He's just a murderer.
I guess we're just crossing streams at this point.
Just a straight up murderer. You know what I mean? Just a straight up murderer. But this episode is brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You can become part of the ship, part of the exclusive crew by going to patreon.com/nerdcave, just like our wonderful crew members, the first mate, Brandon Hicks, our helmsman, the conductors, our gunners, Daniel Sanford, Rushing Water Yoga, Marilyn James, Brittany, the Granny B. Harrison, and our deckhand, Martin Sager. You can also go support us over on Epic Game Store by using our Epic creator code NerdCave at checkout. When you're getting them V-Bucks, when you're getting that new Rocket League season pass, when you're getting them brawler bucks, baby, from Rumbleverse. Now, Derek, I got my first win with Brandon the other night.
Ooh.
Duos. My God, duos is so hard. But we got that dub.
Now, the real question is, did you get him his first win in duos, or did he get you your first win in duos?
I got us that first win.
Okay.
He got knocked out, and boy, man, I laid that person out. I speared him like old Goldberg used to do back in the day. I was like, you mine.
He broke him in half.
And I'm like, who's next? And I'm just like, how Goldberg used to be back in the day. Not now.
Next.
This is the Nerd Cave News, where each and every week we run you through all the video game news that you need to know. You need to know it. If you don't know it, who knows what's going to happen to you? Maybe somebody will throw a rabid squirrel at your face. Derek, you got the shipment, right, of the rabid squirrels?
Yeah, I did, actually. Now that you mentioned that. It came right before I had to jump on, but they came in.
Okay. That's why you were late.
Yeah.
You can watch us live over at twitch.tv/NerdCave Network on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, or watch the show later over on youtube.com/NerdCave Network. Make sure to hit the follow and subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. And we have a podcast version of the show. You can check us out over on all the podcast services around the globe. Leave us a 5-star review, or one of those rabid squirrels will come and find you.
And they will. Like, I'll put a tracker. Well, no, not a tracker. What's the thing I'm looking for?
He's gonna pump them up with steroids, guys. Like he's
gosh,
they're gonna be rabid and on steroids. They're gonna like have like jacked up arms. Like they're gonna be just like out of their mind.
There was a random tangent real quick that reminded me of season 2 of Demon Slayer. One of the guys, he's a shinobi. Like one of the head swordsmen, he's a shinobi, and he's got muscle mice, like legitimate, like they're all like jacked, like roided out mice. That
what?
Yeah,
I love it. I've never watched it, so I can't be stealing it because I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
So maybe they stole it from me before I knew.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
I'm gonna send them a cease and desist letter. You know what I'm not going to stop doing, though, Derek, is playing God of War 2018. That is our game club game for September. Man, we're about halfway through the month.
Yeah, we're exactly halfway through the month.
And I played some more. More.
About time.
I am about to go to Helheim.
Oh, you're not that far behind me because I just left there.
Yeah. So I'm about to go into Helheim. Now, Derek, I'm going to tell you this. My friend. I'm going to tell you this. Playing New Game Plus mode. I feel like I'm an evangelist right now. I'm going to tell you this.
I'm going to spread the good word.
Playing on New Game Plus mode, like you don't get like a lot of like armor or anything like that. I'm getting like skip slag or whatever.
Yeah,
scap slag, whatever. It sounds like a disease, like fungus of your toenails or something like that.
No, it sounds like a weird musical genre.
That too. The rabid squirrels look like jackalopes at the petting zoo puppies. So I've been working on my armor set. Dude, I am almost a level 10.
Yeah, I'm halfway. I'm like a little over halfway to level 10 myself. So
yeah, like it is nice. Like I bumped it where like everybody's like starts at level 5, and I am just utterly wrecking house. And it's so fun. It is so fun to just totally just demolishing people. So you said go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I'm out of Helheim. By the way, that trip there, like when you go back to the house, it still get like I witnessed it and I knew what was gonna happen, and it still gave me goosebumps. Like that whole sequence is just like, man, like how they phrased it, the line delivery, the ambiance of the scene. It was just like the look Kratos gives when Freya, says what he has to do. It's just like, woof, it gave me chills. And I'm like, yep, this is why I love this game. Even though I know what happens, it still can be good.
It's like you literally have them on you when you're like New Game Plus and everything.
Exactly. You already know too. It's like, huh, will they not be there because you already have them?
It's like, where are they? But yeah, like his look when he like rubs his arms where like the chains used to be and everything. This game is so good. Guys, you still got time. You still got time to jump on a God of War. If you don't finish in September, you also have October, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're extending it to October, but you can still finish it in October. Now, are you golden pathing this thing? Because I definitely am.
Well, see, that's why you're so, because I've been doing like all the side quests too as they come up. Like I'll do some golden pathing and some side quest stuff. Like I just went like after I got the chisel. Went ahead, since there's one right there by in that area where you get the chisel. I'm just like, let me go to this hidden chamber and face an enemy. And that you talk about like the armor set and like doing it is so much easier. Like I just like I barely even lost half health, and I'm just like, man, this is so much easier now. when we get to the main one of this group, that's going to be another story. But
Yeah.
at least from compared to my first attempt playthrough, when I got to that same one, I was like, oh, this is light years easier than last time.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was wondering is like the Valkyries. Like I figured they would be much easier, and you can just drop the difficulty. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when you get to the Queen, which I still haven't like that. That is the only one that I haven't beaten. Out of all of it, I'm golden pathing because like one, I need to finish it, and two, I just don't
Yeah.
have enough time.
Exactly.
But it's like I spent so much time doing all the other stuff in the original run. It's like there's not a lot
Yeah.
that I would get out of doing it. So other
Again,
than
yeah.
like Odin's like crows, like that's about the only
Yeah.
thing that I didn't get
Yeah.
the first time round. But that is our I want to say August is in the notes here.
Well, we did start playing it in August, so you're not wrong.
Our August and September Game Club game, God of War, guys, we'll announce next month's Game Club game soon. But let's get into what is and what it forever will be the gaming discussion. First up, Disney and Marvel Game Showcase announcements. We have a new co-op Mickey Mouse and Friends game, Illusion Islands, announced exclusively for Nintendo Switch in 2023.
So I think the biggest thing was this is exclusive to Nintendo Switch. I don't know if it's a big get for them yet, but the art style looks similar to the recent Mickey Mouse shorts, and the story will see Mickey and friends embarking on a quest to, quote, explore the mysterious islands of Moneth and recover 3 mystical books to save the world from disaster. Each character looks to also have their own unique ability, like Donald's ability to swim and Goofy's ability to use a ginormous condiment bottle. Oh, and it supports online and local split screen co-op. Which the online co-op will probably be trash because it's on Switch.
Yeah. I heard that the Splatoon online Splatoon 3 has been actually really good.
Yeah.
But you know,
considering this is their third installment and they've been working with Nintendo forever, it's like if you don't have that down pat, then what are you doing?
Yeah. This trailer, like I watched it, you know, it looks very interesting. It is it's kind of Cupheadish. That's what it feels like. It's like it's a mix of Cuphead and like the like 3D like side scrolling like 2D whatever 3D-ish Mario games where like Mario has an ability, Luigi has an ability, Peach has an ability, and Toad has a special ability and everything. That's what it definitely feels like. But it definitely, I think it will sell really well. I 100% do. Like because we're not getting a Mario right now. I think this is going to kind of fill that void for that side scrolling Mario.
Yep.
Murdoch asks, has Switch ever released any online players number? No,
not to my. It's like Xbox releasing console sales numbers. They just don't do it because they probably don't want to embarrass themselves.
Yeah. Anytime someone doesn't release numbers, it's probably because they're not as good as what they want.
Yeah.
Just say.
Well, plus an Xbox right now, they probably want to release Game Pass subscriber numbers rather than console sales numbers because that's the direction they're going anyway. But that's neither here nor there. That's a side tangent.
Yep. Continuing on, Marvel World of Heroes, a new Marvel AR game, has been announced by Pokemon Go developer Niantic.
And so this one's interesting because it's a Marvel hero game because we know how Pokemon Go is. This is an AR game that will let fans create their very own superhero and team up with their favorite Marvel characters in the real world. Those interested can pre-register now at marvelworldofheroes.com ahead of its global launch on mobile devices in 2023.
My thing on this, Derek, I watched the D23 with Blessing, Adelia Jr. Did a fantastic job from over at Kind of Funny.
He is Blessing.
He is. I like Blessing. Do you think this is actually going to take off? Like we've saw that Harry Potter tanked, several of these AR games.
Niantic did that too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Several of these AR games, like the Ghostbuster one, gone.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that type of game is done? Like Pokemon is the only one that has been successful and will stay successful because of what it is. It actually lends itself to that type of gameplay.
Well, I think so. It's going to be one of those tricky situations for me because Pokemon is like it's a continuing thing. Like heck, Pokemon is an annual series at this point. for big major entries. So they keep it relevant, they keep it fresh, they keep it moving. Marvel is doing that too, although they do it with movies, and now they do it with Disney Plus shows now, and now it's just like a roller coaster. They've released the whole next saga, and it's like they're cramming a bunch of stuff in over the next couple years, for good or for bad. The thing with Harry Potter and Ghostbusters, not saying that they're not big, not saying that they're niche, even though you can make an argument that Ghostbusters has become a niche thing over the years, from at least over the last couple of decades, from when it was at its apex hype to where it is now. Like, yeah, they're trying to bring it back. They've got, they did a newer movie, like sort of like the Next Generation type of thing. And it did okay, but I don't think is going to reinvigorate or reinvigorated the fan base to this massive hype level. And Harry Potter, while it still is like trying to keep relevant, like we've got Hogwarts Legacy next year, and Fantastic Beasts was just a thing, even though it's kind of faltered off with the last entry, it's still like one of those like middling fan bases that I think is more appreciated from a cinematic view than it is game wise. So I think that's why it didn't take off as well. Now Marvel's interesting because they started to put out games like with Spider-Man. Say what you will, Avengers is still going, whether you want to say it's strong or not. It was intriguing at launch. We've got Wolverine in the works, which is great. And, it's got, and Midnight Suns is on the horizon. That looks very promising. So it's one of those like mediums that can do either or that I think can do well. Now, will it do Pokemon Go well? I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is going to be a flop, to be 100% honest. How many people are going to buy into this? What is the longevity? Like, we might see a huge spike of numbers at the beginning, like most launches of these kind of titles, because it's free, it's on your phone, whatever. I think that this will have a heavy fall off. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And within 6 to 8 months, it will be dead.
We'll see.
We'll see. But the next up, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora gets a quick gameplay overview. And I watched this. Not impressive. Not impressive at all.
That's what I've heard too. Like, I didn't watch any of the some of it, but not all of the D23 trailers. But yeah, I didn't see Avatar, but they try and make it interesting. But I heard from this recent gameplay demo, it was like, this ain't it, Chief.
It looked like a AA like movie tie-in kind of game.
Oh,
like
great.
It looked very poorly done. So hopefully, they'll polish it, but
yeah,
it was lackluster at best. And continuing on in that form and fashion, Marvel Snap, the upcoming free-to-play collectible card game, gets a global release date.
So it's officially launching globally on mobile and PC on October 18th, just over a month from now. Players can pre-register for Marvel Snap right now, and it promises over 150 Marvel heroes and villains and a shorter average match time than other gamers in the genre to get players right into the action. You want to talk about Marvel heroes flopping? I think this one is going to be snapped out of existence within 2 months.
Thanos will be coming in there just.
Yep.
I think
it's gone.
Yeah, I think this is like them trying to capture that craze that Hearthstone had for a really long time, and now Gwent, which I think that is, that's also losing steam. I think this is a little too late, and it seemed convoluted. It seemed like at least Hearthstone made sense. It was pretty easy to get in and play. I played a good bit of Hearthstone for a while. This was very complicated looking. There was a ton of cards on the screen, and it was just like, yeah, this is not for me, dog. This is not for me at all. Murdoch says, so who comes up with these bad ideas? I don't know. I have no idea. Like it definitely does feel like a microtransaction game. Like all of these games that are like this, it's all about selling stuff to people. Oh, well, you can only get, the gold Iron Man in this pack, and you have to buy, there's a chance to get one or whatever, but they only appear in this, $15 pack or whatever. I don't know, but this is, the marketing scheme behind this is to get people on there, to get wells, to get money, and go forward from there. And
Yeah.
just not about that. Just not
Mm-mm.
about that. Before we jump into these next few, Murdoch asks, AA equals B studio? Not necessarily. AA is just like the size of a studio and the funding behind a studio. Because you have indie, which is usually a very small team of developers, like around 10-ish or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
like
a pretty
no
big,
more than 20.
Yeah, that's a pretty big team and everything. AA it's got a little bit more funding, and there are there's just more funding and more behind it and everything. Hey, Ari, how you doing? So like AA, like I've played some really good AA games. Plague Tale is a
I'll
AA
say
game.
recently just Plague Tale.
Yeah. So AA is not a bad connotation. It's just that's where it kind of like falls in that.
Right.
Well, not all of them are good.
Unfortunately too, because of who's making it, like Ubisoft, like a big like AAA, like beat their chest, see what we can do, like how big we can make open worlds developer. And with their recent track record, this ain't looking too much better for them.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. And Disney is at this really weird place of like they're putting out their IPs and everything for people to develop, and it's like some investments are really good and then others are not so good. Like Marvel Avengers could have been a really, really awesome game, but unfortunately it wasn't. The story was the best part of it, but everything else was really, really lackluster. So it's just kind of sad. I need to play
the Worth for Wakanda expansion, and then I can uninstall that game because I don't have any use for it.
I played a good chunk of it on stream. I never finished it. Playing as Black Panther is so much harder than playing as any other character. I will 100% tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah. It just... We're going to split these next 5 up. I'll take odds, you take even. So first up, Return to Monkey Island gets a new trailer ahead of its Talk Like a Pirate Day launch date for September 19th, which is 4 days away at the filming of this.
So, following that, Aliens Dark Descent first gameplay trailer revealed and will be launching in 2023. This was revealed, I think, at Gamescom earlier in the year, like middle of the year. So, but good on it.
Another remaster from Disney's past. Gargoyles Remaster will bring classic 90s platformer to modern consoles and PC.
Which is a good, intriguing sign because Gargoyles was always like an underrated cartoon, in my opinion, but good to see it at least try and make a comeback. Disney Dreamlight Valley to add a new Toy Story realm later this year.
The mobile MMORPG shooter Avatar Reckoning gets a first look trailer.
And this mobile title will let you customize your own avatar and explore Pandora across, quote, multiple game modes. An MMORPG shooter on a mobile device. That's going to be an intriguing one.
Yeah, I don't see how this is going to be smooth, but I understand, like we talked, I think it was last week, they're trying, a lot of people are really trying, Sony, because they bought that new studio, they're really trying to hit that mobile market hardcore, especially over in Europe. They're trying to really reach that side of things over in the Middle East. Like there's a huge market there. So I think that's what we're seeing here with Disney as well. They're trying to, but Avatar, like I feel like that's a weird choice.
Yeah.
For this, a very weird choice. Moving on to the next one, which is you, Derek.
The Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga gets a new Galactic Edition and new characters, and will bring with it 13 character packs, including 6 new packs that contain such fan favorites as Cassian Andor, Reva, Captain Rex, and more on November 1st.
Like, I wish they would include some story packs, but I know that they're like done on this game other than like the characters and all of that, which is kind of sad, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Disney Speedstorm introduces new racers from Monster Inc. And I watched this trailer and man, it just looks like a cheap imitation of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And that's sad because like Mario Kart is just sitting on 8. Like we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Just sitting on 8. So maybe, you know, we got the Chocobo
Yeah,
knockoff
that.
one, and now we got this one. I feel like everybody's trying to come after the crown right now, while
Yeah.
Nintendo just rests on its 5-gallon bucket.
I was literally about to bring up the 5-gallon bucket. Oh, Lord. But speaking of Disney, Disney's Mirrorverse's Halloween season will soon bring spooky fun to the mobile adventure. They're really doubling down on this mobile stuff.
Marvel Strike Force to add Red Hulk out now.
Tron Identity is a new visual novel adventure from Thomas Was Alone's Bithell Games, and it will be coming to PC and consoles in 2023.
Now I'm interested in this one. I like Tron, so
Yeah,
I'm very interested. Like how like visual novel adventure, is it going to be like a
Yeah.
Telltale game? Like that's the only thing that I could see it like really like that kind of place.
yeah. Well, and Mike Bithell makes really good narrative games too. So hope we know the story will be good, but how it'll play out like gameplay wise, that'll be another thing to wonder.
Yeah, I'm optimistic on
Yeah.
that one. But next up is we've got a trailer
Mhm.
for Marvel's Midnight Suns. It gets a release date and a Switch version to be determined. So let's pull that up real quick, and we will watch this awesome trailer. Let's see if I can do this. If I can make it happen, Captain. I need Kevin. You know
I
what I
know.
mean? I need Kevin. I need Kevin to get
Tell him to
back
come
the
back
studio.
from his vacation.
I don't know what he's doing. He's over here doing all this kind of stuff. Eric says, looking forward to this one for sure. Same. I love these type games, and it being at Marvel, I cannot wait for it. 100%.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out this trailer. I like that you can open up a portal.
Yeah.
All the customization.
December 2nd. And just that little add some little extra tidbit here. Alongside the release date news, it was revealed that Marvel's Midnight Suns will be getting prequel shorts beginning on October 31st that are a quote set of 5 short videos that provide backstory on the formation of the young core of the Midnight Suns. Trailer looked dope. Of course, you know, it shows like a lot of similar gameplay we already know. And I feel like it wasn't that long ago that we talked about it was delayed indefinitely and they couldn't promise any release date. Then all of a sudden it feels like a few weeks later, oh, December 2nd, guys, just kidding. Like the Switch version, we still don't know. But like usually when you say delayed indefinitely, like you're talking about months. And yes, granted, and it's not mid-October release date original. No, it was supposed to be October 7th. To December 2nd, yeah, it's 2 months, but I thought they were insinuating next year sometime, not like end of this year. So I guess they wanted to make sure they could hit it before promising anything again and delaying it like another time. But it's just weird that 3 weeks after it gets delayed, it feels like, or maybe longer than that, we get a release date again.
I feel like the mouse came and visited them.
Yeah, they're like, get your stuff together.
You know what I mean? Like it was just like, you're going to release this game. So hopefully, like, you know, it looks good. Like every time they release one of these games, the studio, they're very, very well thought out, great games. I highly doubt we're going to get a permadeath system in this, like their XCOM games and everything, because it wouldn't really fit this universe. Maybe it does. That would be way way
Yeah.
more interesting. But I do like the concept of getting to make your own character, and that they're going to be a part of this universe. You're going to get to have dialogue with people. I doubt that it's going to be voiced by any stretch
Yeah.
of the imaginations, but I am really looking forward to it. And to wrap up our D23 coverage on this episode, one that I was very, very excited for, Derek.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm glad that Amy Hennig, she's near and dear to our hearts here
Yep.
because she's a PlayStation alum. But Amy Hennig and Skydance News new media game with Marvel is a Captain America and Black Panther story set in World War II.
So this might not be the one that people were thinking of because we had hints of it leading up to this, right? Like she was doing a team up game, like a squad based game, and everyone's thinking, oh, what is it? Is it a different type of Avengers? Is it Fantastic Four? Like which one is it? So we saw rumors leading up as like, oh, it's a Black Panther. Oh, it has Captain America. And now technically those were both right. During the story, players will travel to Paris, Wakanda, and potentially more places. While the game is currently untitled, it promises to feature 4 playable heroes. Quote, a young Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, Azuri, T'Challa's grandfather and the World War II era Black Panther, Gabriel Jones, a U.S. soldier and member of the Howling Commandos, and Nonali, I guess that's how you play it, leader of the fledgling Wakanda spy network. Um, so I have a couple of questions for you on this one, just on the news, because you get the buzz heroes like Captain America, Black Panther.
Yep.
Are you excited, or because we see like, granted, yes, it was more with Call of Duty side, but people got burned out by World War II era stuff several years ago. Do you think World War II setting will help or hinder this story? And do you all? Well, I'll let you answer that first. Do you think the World War II setting is the right choice for this?
It is a hard thing to sell a World War II game at this point in time because it has been beat to death. This, on the other hand, I think it will be beneficial because it is right when Steve becomes Captain America. He is not a man out of time. He's right in time and everything, and he's young compared to the Black Panther at this point is going to be a king that has reigned for a while. So there's going to be this juxtaposition of, he's not the old man fighting or whatever.
Yeah.
He is the young whippersnapper.
So you think Black Panther will be like the mentor to Steve to teach him how to be a hero or whatnot?
Yeah, I think that's how this going to be played.
Okay. My other thing is like, yes, we have 2 known characters, but we have 2 like, Howling Commandos and part of the Wakanda. So you got to think those 2, like, was it Gabriel and Steve will be together, and then Azuri and Nonali will be together, and they'll team up and do this thing. Do you think only having 2 known characters and not like a squad, like, because you would think, well, why this new guy? Why not Dum Dum Dugan or someone else or Bucky? Would be a thing. Like, do you think 2 of these unknown characters will intrigue people to try and play this? Because I think what I read is you'll be able to play as all 4 characters at certain points throughout the story. So do you think people will be excited to play as these new characters, or do you think people will be like, I don't care, I just want to play as either Steve or Black Panther?
I think it'd be more of the latter, but it is interesting the ones that they've chosen, especially Nonali. She becomes the queen of Wakanda, and she's married to Azuri in the comics and everything. So I think we might get some actual cool story and character development out of both of them. Gabriel Jones, I don't really know his story that much. Really nothing. But I think there is enough there to, instead of just like, okay, we're getting Steve, he's gonna get frozen and this, and it's like you're surrounding Captain America around with characters that are very different and very like unknown, so you can tell a fresh story with having Captain America as the tent pole to hold it up. I think it's a smart way of doing it. And Amy Hennig, talking about some Last of Us, talking about some Uncharted, like she's been around the block. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Did she do a Last of Us, or was that just Neil?
No, that was Neil and
okay,
the other guy who left.
Okay.
Amy
My
was
fault.
just Uncharted, but still, she has her, well, she worked on the Star Wars game before it got canceled.
Mhm.
But you got to think she has her chops in narrative.
Oh yeah, 100%. So I am excited. I cannot wait for it. It looks cool, and getting to that just time. It's like the great generation, and what kind of covert cool things are we going to get? What is the
Yeah,
gameplay going to be like? That is what I'm very interested to see. And only time will tell. But Derek, we've got so much to cover.
yeah.
We got to move forward to the Ubisoft Forward announcements. Trackmania is headed to consoles with cross-platform play and cross progression.
So after years of being a PC exclusive, Ubisoft's Trackmania is finally headed to consoles in 2023, and it will include crossplay and cross progression with its PC counterpart. While no Switch version was mentioned, it was confirmed it will arrive on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, Google Stadia, and Amazon Luna. And I guess they're doing the thing of like, because they did Trackmania Turbo, Trackmania Legends. They've done so many iterations that it just went back to just called Trackmania. So, um, interesting. A good thing. It's one of those series that never really grasped my interest, but it was always
Mhm.
intriguing to see what they do because they always have wacky trailers with it. So good on it that it's still going as a series.
Yeah, it looked really, really fun. It looked pretty polished as well, from what I remember and everything.
Yeah.
From I've watched so many trailers from D23 and
Oh, I
this, and
know.
then
They
and
all
the
blur
movie.
together at this point.
Yeah, the movie side of D23 as well. So it's a lot of trailers been going on. But next up is Just Dance 2023, announced for a holiday release. Get that money, honey.
Right. Yeah. This newest entry will arrive on holiday of this year for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and Switch, and will include brand new quote dance on demand platform alongside new online multiplayer features and a new interface. As with previous Just Dance games, it will receive a constant stream of free and regular content updates.
Like this game, it just keeps coming out, but it keeps making crazy
It keeps
money.
Just Dancing.
Yeah, it just Derek, Derek, Derek.
I know.
What one game that I like, what it confused me from the get-go, and two, it's still around,
Yeah.
is Riders Republic is teaming up with Vans and getting its own BMX biking, and it's out now.
Yeah. I think like that partnership with BMX biking and Vans, like to put that kind of apparel in game or
Mhm.
those equipment in game, I feel like it's too late because the game's over a year old at this point. And they're now just getting this. I mean, do you, I guess, but I don't know. The games I feel like is dead.
Yeah, agreed.
Speaking of things that won't die, The Crew 2 is getting ice tracks for the first time, and which is it's already out now. It's released a couple days ago. It's on season 6, and you hear nothing about The Crew 2 unless Ubisoft. Like no one talks about it. You rarely see YouTube videos on it. Like
Mhm.
I'd like to know who's still playing this game. It's probably not that many in America, at least not our part of the world, the country anyway. Because
Yeah.
it's on season 6, which is insane to me. Like I blinked and they went from season 3 to 6.
Yeah. Speaking of the same thing,
Yeah,
Mythic Quest season 3 gets a sneak peek. Like I remember when it got its first season.
yeah,
I didn't even know it went past one season. The trailer that they showed, it was funny. Like it's just not something I'm going to get into.
no,
Like it's on Apple Plus or whatever it's called. It's like, do I need to pay for another streaming service? No. It's like I need
yeah.
another hole in the head. Just like just ain't it. It ain't it, dog.
Well, what is for me is, even though I don't play it, Brawlhalla is crossing over with Castlevania on October 19th.
I like it. I like it. Now, speaking of crossovers and you know, bonding
Interesting
together.
decisions.
Netflix and Ubisoft are partnering on a live action Assassin's Creed adaptation alongside with 3 mobile games based on Assassin's Creed, Valiant Hearts, and Mighty Quest. Oh,
And these games will also be free on the Netflix app for those with a subscription and will have no ads or in-app purchases.
Ari says that she watched Mythic Quest. Is it any good? Like, it looks funny, but it's like getting another streaming service is just like not on like I want to avoid it like the plague. But with this headline real quick, Valiant Hearts 2 coming out, and it's through this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, Derek. Do you remember when Ubisoft had like Ubisoft? It was an art that was like EA side of things.
Ubi Play.
Yeah,
no,
it was
it was Ubi Art.
Okay, Ubi Art. This is what's taking its place because we have not seen Valiant Heart. Like, it's such a good game. If you've never played the original Valiant Hearts, set in World War One, it'll tear your heart out type deal.
Yeah.
But seeing that we're getting that there, and then Assassin's Creed, I'm curious what we're getting Assassin's Creed wise. Is this like, we're going to talk about a lot of Assassin's Creed news. Are some of those projects, like the mobile project, going to be coming through this instead of like,
I wonder if, because you remember you talked about that 2.5 D resurrection last week, or I think it was. I wonder if this will be what it like. This is what it culminates to, is on mobile.
Okay. Yeah, it might be. It might be. Ari says that Mythic Quest is exciting. It's hilarious, more silly than anything. I am Canadian, so I feel like I need to watch it. Okay. Is it yeah, because it is based, like the show is like based in Canada and everything. Okay. Okay.
I thought it was my turn. I'm sorry. Ubisoft Plus celebrates its 3rd anniversary with a gift to PC, Google Stadia, and Amazon Luna players, which will have multi-access for free until October 10th. This will let them play over 100 Ubisoft titles, including Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, guys, get your free Ubisoft Plus right now. Get your free month. Try it out. Try out all the games that are on there. Beat you a game, okay? Save you $60 on something and beat you a Ubisoft game and get it done, okay? Also, Google Stadia and Amazon, like we'll see here in a little bit with this Assassin's Creed news that Ubisoft is dropping Stadia support, which is very interesting.
Right.
We'll get to the Assassin's Creed question you had, Cody, here in just a second because we're fixing. Let us roll through this and let's get to the Assassin's Creed section, and then we'll answer that question. Ubisoft celebrates its 3rd anniversary with. You already read that.
Yeah, I read that.
Well, it's like numbered 1 again. It's Kevin's fault. Let's just be honest. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope will get post-launch content with Rayman, which I'm excited.
Yeah,
Mario plus Rabbids, the gameplay looks so good.
Yes.
It looks so good.
I watched the Wiggler boss battle that they did, and it's like, man, that's a lot more intriguing. Or they changed a lot of the stuff they did from the first game for sure.
Yeah, 100%. It looks so in depth. It looks a lot more fast paced, and I'm excited. I like the first one, but this one looks so much better. So much better. Skull and Bones, though. Skull and Bones trailer shows off ship customization and trading network called The Helm. We'll also have cross-platform play at launch, which I'm glad. I'm glad we're getting cross-play. I wish there was some cross progression as well, because you gotta go where people are. You know what I mean?
You want to be where the people are.
I want to see them jumping, dancing. All right, let's check out this trailer from Skull and Bones right now.
This could be the greatest heist ever.
Fire away!
And you, Cully, will play the villain. Ready your ship. Gird your loins. And seize that convoy. Destiny is calling. And our names are on her lips.
I do like the flamethrower. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I'll say the dragon breath is always nice.
That one though, right there.
Yeah.
Crazy that you can shoot behind you. November 8th. Now, Derek, does this do anything for you? Are you excited about Skull and Bones after watching that? Does it pique your interest?
I mean, maybe I'll check it out one day, but it doesn't get me. I mean, since God of War Ragnarok, the GOAT Part 2 is coming out literally the next day. I have no intrigue to play this day one because by the time like it would be my thing. I would buy it, have it downloaded, and the servers would be janky until about midnight, and then it would be time to play God of War, and I would forget all about this. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't want to slow down your download of God of War, is what you're telling me.
Exactly, 1000%. But the customization is nice. Like the different abilities for the ships are great. My thing is Ubisoft is some of the best stuff will probably be locked behind either microtransactions or you have to like grind it out, and it's like, oh, but you can pay $4.99 to get this currency and be able to get it faster, and it's like, look, I don't care.
Yeah. I think it's going to be cool in certain ways, but it might be down the road. Murdoch, I'm curious what you thought about that trailer. I know you were jonesing. Which we're gonna get to AEC Mirage here in a few. Everybody's like champing at the bit for Assassin's Creed. We're gonna get there, guys. Let's hurry it up, Derek, because they're waiting. They're waiting.
They're beating down the doors. So Rainbow Six Mobile gameplay revealed with a closed beta that's out now. And then when Rainbow Six Mobile launches in the future, it will have 5v5 matches, crossplay, and voice chat.
The Division Resurgence, a mobile spinoff, is accepting signups for its next testing phase.
And this upcoming test will focus on PvP modes like Dark Zone and Conflict, which Dark Zone and a mobile, gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But
yeah,
speaking of Division, the Division 2 Season 10 Price of Power will have agents hunting down General Peter Anderson, and that is out now.
Also, speaking of the Division Heartland is gearing up for another testing phase.
Now we get to the news that you all want to hear, which is the it almost felt like this was an Assassin's Creed showcase more than a Ubisoft Forward. It was like Assassin's Creed featuring others. So to start off, little game called Valhalla came out almost 2 years ago now. They are still popping out content for this game. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the last chapter, will tie up the loose ends of Eivor's story.
And they had a trailer for this. It looked good. I'm glad that they're finishing this out. They've been really good since they relaunched about actually like supporting the game for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they're going to continue to do that. The next bit of Assassin's Creed news: Assassin's Creed codenamed Jade is an open world Assassin's Creed game for mobile devices.
So according to Ubisoft, it will feature, quote, classic Assassin's Creed gameplay and will take place in an open world that was built to work well with touch controls. In addition to sharing that Assassin's Creed Jade will let players create their own assassin protagonist for the first time ever in the series. Jade will also let players explore China in the year 215 BCE and even parkour across the Great Wall of China.
If they wouldn't let you parkour across the Great Wall of China, is it Assassin's Creed? Like that's
is it even a game?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the biggest like draws of Assassin's Creed is like going to these like historic places and then just parkouring all over the place. And you have to say parkour like The Office, where they're like parkour and jumping all around. Like I'm excited for this. Like hopefully it will be something that's kind of robust. I'm going to just call it, this will be part of that Netflix deal that they're going to be, with a mobile and everything. But it's a cool setting. Getting to be able to make your own character and everything, I think is going to be awesome. But let's talk about some Assassin's Creed Mirage. We got a trailer for this. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to answer some questions. Ari said she meant Assassin's Creed is exciting, not Mythic Quest. I agree. Assassin's Creed is very exciting. I'm this one. I'm kind of stoked for it. I'm not going to even lie. So Assassin's Creed Mirage is set in Baghdad 20 years before the events of Valhalla. And Derek, you can go ahead and read that, and then we'll watch the trailer.
So it will star Basim Ibn Ishaq and is designed to be a modern take on the original gameplay template for the earlier Assassin's Creed game. During development, the team at Ubisoft Bordeaux focused on the same 3 design pillars as the original Assassin's Creed game: stealth, parkour, and assassinations. Assassin's Creed Mirage will be released in 2023.
All right, let's take a look at this trailer. This was a little bit longer one, so y'all just sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
Snakey snake.
Basim at Newz. Are you ready to give up who you once thought you were?
I am.
I love the bazaar and everything.
Yeah.
Ready to sacrifice everything you held close?
I am.
Are you ready to leave your life behind and walk the path of shadows?
I am.
You don't know how to jump?
I know. Come on, fool.
And he's like, oh no. You dead,
Then
son.
out of the dark, you will come into the light.
It reminds me like the League of Assassins right there
Oh yeah.
when Batman's training.
And from the light, you will return to the dark.
Well, at least she's giving him a hot blade, unlike Altair.
Never forget the
Yeah.
planets you have sworn to uphold.
You know, I've heard of finger food,
Stay
but
your blade from the
Stop it.
flesh of the enemy. Hide in plain sight.
sit down.
Never compromise the brotherhood.
Ooh, I like that red.
Yeah.
Ooh. I like that, yeah.
From this day forward,
Didn't see that coming.
No.
you are a hidden one.
Didn't see that coming.
Just dodges it, man.
Pakistan, not today, fool.
This right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a
that-
theory.
Assassin's
All right. Coming 2023. I
Yep.
am stoked for this, Derek. Guys, let me know if there's still an echo going on with Derek when he talks and everything. We're having to run audio a different way right
Yeah.
now because we're using Guest Star from Twitch. So we're still trying to figure out some of the issues and everything. So let us know if we got anything. So here's my theory, and then we'll jump into your thoughts and then the questions and all of that we got from some Assassin's Creed stuff. That ghoul that was in that,
Mm-hmm.
that is Desmond. That is my theory.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you think like the Animus is like glitching like so bad that it's bringing? Oh wow.
Yep. That's Desmond.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
And if
crazy
it's not,
to think about. We got
if
a
it's-
whole freaking year to contemplate on this.
and if it's not, then they've missed an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like, because they're sticking with this whole theme of like going back to the first game, or like basically like reinventing from the first game, or like going back to like what brought them there. Because this is the 15th anniversary of Assassin's Creed, and I like how they did the callback, because I think in the first two, I can't remember if Brotherhood did it, but I know ever since Brotherhood, they got away from it to where when the main assassin killed one of the targets, he put that feather on him, and I saw that, I'm just like, oh, they are, man. They're going full callback to the first game.
Full bore back there, and which is awesome. Like, there were a lot of really good stuff with it, and we talked a lot about, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, the rumor that Assassin's Creed 1 was getting a remake. I think this is the remake, and it's like a spiritual remake of Assassin's Creed 1. I think this is like going to be there.
Yeah, because like, to spoil it, because I do have a little tidbit section for after we go through the rest of the Assassin's Creed news, and saying that like the whole thing of like going back to the first one and remaking it from the ground up is shot down by Ubisoft. Like, they're not doing it. So I think your theory lends more credence to that, by the fact of, I think there's like, hey, this is a love letter. Like, it's not a full remake because we're tying it in. Do you think we'll see, because it's set 20 years before Valhalla, do you think we'll see any, because I never finished through Valhalla, so I don't know any of the other characters. Do you think they'll give any hint or like mention of Valhalla in this game, since it's set like a prequel before?
Yeah, this is like set 20 years before that, so I don't know if that's going to be mentioned. There might be a nod,
I'm not
or
sure
something
how
like
old
that.
Ivor is when Valhalla takes place.
Yeah, I think there might be a nod, but I don't think it's going to be a ton.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Dan says, or maybe Desmond's consciousness is time traveling. Maybe. Like how the Isu were able to have conversations with the future. Yeah, I definitely could see that.
I need to go back, like, not with the first one, because I feel like it's too old to play on any like type of modern consoles now. But I need to go back, because I bought the Ezio trilogy digitally way back when it was on sale. I want to go, like, obviously with our game club and with how often I work, I don't know how I'd make it happen, but I do want to go back and like play through all of Assassin's Creed. Like, I know after 3, the modern story gets convoluted, but after seeing this trailer, I'm just like, you know what? I feel intrigued to try and go back and like play through it sequentially and just see what I've been missing. Like, Odyssey, I think I'm good on, because I played the mess out of that. Like, maybe go through and play the DLC I never played, but Valhalla, I never played Origins. I never gave Valhalla a fair shot after launch, because it was bright new shiny on the PS5. But I don't know. Maybe I'll have to think on it.
Yeah, like the Ezio collection's great. One would be a trog to go through. I will tell you that. Like, it was super repetitive even back then. 3, I did not care for 3. It was boring to me. Which is like, I love the Revolutionary War like time period and everything, but it was like just boring. And then but Black Flag, I think that's one of the best ones for sure. But hey, Basim should eventually become aware of something that eventually brings him to Norway to meet Ivor. Yeah,
probably.
But that doesn't mean that it's going to be in the game, because it's set 20 years before that.
Yeah.
Dan also says, kind of looking forward to AC Mirage. It's about, we got that. And finally, AC Codename Red, which is finally going to be in Japan. And speaking of all of that goodness, we're going to talk about some of that. Assassin's Creed Infinity officially revealed with 2 named games. And the first is set in feudal Japan. Thank the good Lord.
So there's been rumors about 2 other Assassin's Creed games that were like trademarked before this Ubisoft 4, because we all know, I said it last week, I'm gonna always say it every time Ubisoft news comes up, they're terrible at keeping secrets. So like, when this come up is so this is, and the speculation had brought in that Infinity was going to be part of this. So Ubisoft shared that the first 2 games for the platform, one that will follow the life of a shinobi in feudal Japan, and another helmed by Watch Dogs Legion director Clint Hawking. Assassin's Creed Infinity is not a game itself, but a place where players will explore and jump into future entries, beginning with the feudal Japan game, Assassin's Creed Codename Red. While not much was revealed about the second game, Assassin's Creed Codename Hex, it was revealed that it will be a quote, very different type of Assassin's Creed game and may feature witchcraft.
Here's a sneak peek at 2.
In addition to the single-player games, Ubisoft also shared that Assassin's Creed multiplayer will return in some form, although it said details will come at a later date.
Okay. I absolutely freaking hate YouTube. I
Yeah.
will just say that. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to set up the next video.
I was
and it's
wondering,
just-
like, what the heck was that?
and it's just like Mario. I'm like, Kevin, get your butt back here. For anyone that's ever been here, y'all talk to somebody that's in the chat that knows Kevin. But anyway, here's a sneak peek. So
So,
I'm glad that we're getting to go to feudal Japan.
yes, finally. And the witchcraft one is very intriguing because it is definitely something different for Assassin's Creed. Like, we've seen them do pirates, we've seen them do Egypt, Greece, all these other locations, but we haven't really seen them delve into, like, we've seen them delve into, like, sorcery and magic and, like, hints of that.
Yeah.
But it's never been the focal point of the game.
Yeah.
So this being set in, like, some type of witch era trial or, like, witchcraft type of thing will definitely be intriguing. Now, I do have a couple of questions for you, Zachary.
Okay.
One, I think it shouldn't be more than 3. One is, do you think this feudal Japan Assassin's Creed is too late? Like,
Yeah.
I was the joke always was, because when Assassin's Creed was struggling before they took that break and went to Origins, that they'll go to feudal Japan. That'll be the pun not intended. They'll hit the red button and basically, break glass in case of emergency and bring out feudal Japan to reinvigorate the love for Assassin's Creed. Do you think it's too late? And 2, with games like Ghost of Tsushima, and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, even though it's more of a punishing game, but it's like set in that shinobi style game. And with games coming out, like one we'll get into later in the PlayStation news, and with Where Winds Meet, like, even though that's more of a Chinese based game, it's still like set in a style game like these other ones. Do you think that it can even last or be up there? Like, do you think it can be good with that? We know with Ghost of Tsushima and these other games that have already proven that they can outdo it.
I think yes, I think it is a little late by like several years. Do I think that it is that it can do well? Yeah, I think it can. Like, every time I play an Assassin's Creed game, they're really good. Like, they have a good story, the gameplay mechanics are really solid. Even if people's faces don't always appear in Unity, but they were still good. I think this is something that everybody has wanted for a really long time. But with games like Ghost of Tsushima, I think it is now hard pressed to now outdo that game. And I'm gonna be honest, Derek, they ain't gonna outdo Ghost of Tsushima.
No.
Like, that game is a masterclass of gameplay, and I know it's slightly different.
Yeah.
But it's still being, secretive and sneaking around and doing all this kind of stuff. Assassin's Creed should have done this before, but they didn't, and now they're gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And
rightly or wrongly, they're gonna be compared to it.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna come up short. I think it still will be very good, but everyone's gonna say it's not Ghost of Tsushima, but it's still pretty good. That's gonna be the thing.
You know what would be really bad is if by the time, because Infinity, if all the reports will be true, it's going to be like 2025 at the earliest when we see this game. How bad would it be is if this game launched and then Ghost of Tsushima 2 is like, oh, and we're like a few months to a year after this. Like, that would be the most sock it to you punch, they could give you.
Yeah, if Tsushima is anywhere close, it's going to decimate this for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My last question for this is, do you think it's fair that this will be like we know we've known for a few months that Infinity is going to be the future of Assassin's Creed. Like whether Mirage is like the last true standalone Assassin's Creed before this, we don't know. Like there's been rumors, but we don't know officially yet. Do you think it's fair that the feudal Japan game that people have been wanting for years, probably almost a decade at this point, gets to be part of Infinity? Because they said it's not going to be like the idea of what this game's structure is going to be like content wise, we don't know yet. But there's been rumors that's like, all right, it'll be a mainline entry, but we're just going to add smaller, like instead of doing like a full-fledged 150-hour game each time this new expansion comes out, it's going to be like a smaller chunk. So do you think it's fair that it kind of gets like presumably a short end treatment for a game that for an era that people have wanted for the series?
I feel like that statement, like the 150 hours thing, probably more applies to Mirage than it does this.
Yeah.
I think that's where that comes from. If it is a shorter tell, like if it is more condensed, more concentrated, I'm fine with that because I don't need 150 hours and have to go find feathers and do all of these things, get it padded out. Give me a good condensed story, awesome gameplay. I don't mind that at all.
But would you rather but would you still be upset that it wouldn't be Ghost of Tsushima length? Because Tsushima wasn't 150 hours either, but it was, you got a lot out of it for what it was.
Yeah, like I want a full length game, you know what I mean? And like these type of games, like Derek, I played Ghost of Tsushima for 2 years. All right.
The game of air every year.
Exactly. Except until God of War Ragnarok comes out.
Exactly.
I like a full length game. It is all really dependent on like what is in the game. Like you could really water this thing down, or you can have something that is more, enjoyable for the 40 hours that you play it. 40 hours is a long time. And I know a lot of people with Assassin's Creed, they want the 150 hours, but it's like when you play Valhalla, which I haven't played, or when you've played the other games, it's like, man, this kind of feels like I'm doing fetch quests, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. It's like every mission should matter. Like I know there's going to be like some missions that are kind of smaller than others or whatever, but every mission should matter. It shouldn't just be like, I'm going to go kill this dude. I'm going to go eavesdrop on this dude. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go threaten somebody. I'm going to go, like, that gets boring over time. God of War 2018, it's like, it's not 150 hours, but man, every minute of that game is wonderful to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And with Infinity, like, we thought it was going to be a game that just got constantly added on to. This is going to be a hub. Like I think this is going to be a way for them to put out patches to, it's just going to make it all nice and neat. Even with the history thing that they've been doing, I think it's going to be a way to host that instead of it being inside of specific games as well. I know you can access it other ways, but I think this is a way that you can do a lot of things. And having Infinity, it's like, hey, we've got a new game that's coming out on our specific Assassin's Creed thing. So that's where I kind of stand on all of that. I know Cody asked a question, unless you got one more for.
No, I don't have a question. I was just going to make one final statement. It's like,
okay,
I feel like depending on how the structure of Infinity is going to be from when it starts, because they openly, I just read, it openly said that it's going to start with feudal Japan. If they set the bar high with feudal Japan, I fear that everything after that will be lesser. And not in terms of quality, but in terms of like expectations, to where people like the Hex game, it's like, oh, this is going to be cool. And then it's like, it's got an intriguing concept with witchcraft and whatnot. And then it doesn't deliver like Japan does.
Yeah, I think the Hex game is going to just be set in like the Salem witch trials era.
Yeah,
like I don't think we're going to get like magic. That's never really been like it's
Ubisoft's
like
MO.
Yeah, especially with this
like
game.
their magic has been like the glitches in the Animus.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's going to be that where it's like you're like at the Salem witch trials and all of that, and like you're someone's in the Inquisitor and you've got to like, free this town from that sort of deal. That's what I think that it's going to be. But let's answer this question from Cody. He says, will the AC movie be a continuation from the one from a couple of years ago or all new. And this one, from what I've seen, is going to be completely new. It's not going to be a connection to the Michael Fassbender movie. This is going to be something totally different. I think is it a movie or a series that's coming to?
I've heard both. So I've heard it probably will be one of those like straight to like television movie. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. I hope that it's a series because it'll be more interesting to like get that development. But I feel like everything is getting to become a series, and like
I know
these poor visual effects artists, like I feel so sorry for them getting worked to death.
I know. I mean, it could be worse. They could work. Never mind. Let me not throw shade. Right, I'm not going to do that right now.
Yeah, keep it nice, Derek. Keep it nice. Some other tidbits, and
yeah. So, like I said earlier, Assassin's Creed 1 remake chatter has been shot down by Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed Mirage looks to be the series' swan song for last gen, as future games head to PS5 and Series X and S only. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant current gen because I'm never going to let that comment go. Modern day Assassin's Creed story will be told in Infinity going forward. That could be a good or bad thing. We'll see how that plays out. Ubisoft confirms not all future Assassin's Creed games will be 150-hour RPGs. That's good to know. Like I think Mirage will not be that same way, so I'm glad to know this. Not Assassin's Creed related, but an intriguing thing for the gaming world in general. Ubisoft's big AAA games will be $70, according to CEO Yves Guillemot. So it's intriguing. I almost want to be like, but I thought you were going to the free-to-play model. Have y'all already given up on that already?
I think they have. One quick thing to just add to the Ubisoft Forward, because I watched it in real time. Man, these things are so awkward. Like people that are talking and everything are so awkward. State of Play, Nintendo Directs, they've got it. But like having people host this thing, Derek, I'm gonna say something that I never thought I was gonna say.
Don't you? Do you miss Aisha Tyler?
I would love Aisha Tyler back as the host of the Forward.
I never thought I'd hear you utter those words.
It was more interesting. Like the Assassin's Creed part was so hard to watch, because of the hosts that were like hosting it, and they're just reading the lines that they're given and everything, but it just feels so robotic, and it's like there's a better way of doing this. Like there's such a better way.
Hey, let's
of doing
get the
this.
worst public speakers in our department and put them in front of a screen and have them talk.
No, it wasn't like they were bad at what they were doing. It was just like. It didn't feel natural. You know what I mean? It just did not feel natural. And that's my biggest thing for any of it. It's just like, it does not feel natural. But we got a Nintendo Direct to talk about. So here are the announcements from the Nintendo Direct that matter. Because I was listening to Kind of Funny, and they were like, my God, why did we get up so early to watch this Nintendo Direct? But there were some big ones, which I see you're missing one, but I'm not gonna admonish you on it. That 007 news.
Oh, well, I have the article. Like I said, I was gonna read. Like I wasn't gonna go like super in depth, but I have the article here.
Okay. Well, Derek, why don't you hit us with some 007 news before we get in these trailers?
So it's not just that, but GoldenEye 007 is back alongside other classic Nintendo 64 games. It was announced that 007 is coming to Nintendo Switch Online via the expansion pack membership subscription. No gameplay footage was shown, but the game will feature online play according to Nintendo. And side note, GoldenEye is also making its way to Xbox via Game Pass with achievements, 4K resolution, and a smoother frame rate. And also a side news, besides GoldenEye, also coming to the Switch Online expansion pack, we got Pilot Wing 64, Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, 1080 Snowboarding, and Excite Bike 64.
I can't wait to put some proximity mines down, baby. Get that golden gun. You know what I mean? I can't wait for that.
Online, right? I'm kidding.
Yeah. Sure. It's interesting that it will be on Xbox, which I'm glad because they do own Respawn.
You mean Rare?
Yeah, that one too. One day they'll own Respawn, greedy Xbox people. Nate says he's ready for Legend of Zelda. We'll get there. You got to wait your turn. All good things come to those who wait. Just like we've been waiting on Mario Kart 8
Oh my gosh.
to give up the ghost.
I know. But yeah, just some other things. Like we're not going to hit it too because we're in the end game at this point. You know, we've been going, we got a little long on the tooth, so I'm just going to hit. Of course, you know, Fire Emblem Engage was a thing. It's coming January 20th. Pikmin 4 finally is a thing. It's officially announced. Octopath Traveler 2, really good for them. That and Triangle Strategy did really well. They talked about the golf update for Nintendo Switch Online. New theater rhythm game featuring a bunch of Final Fantasy tracks, plus some other Square Enix DLC music tracks that they'll announce later. Resident Evil is coming, the 2 remake, 3 remake, 7, and Village with the Winters DLC will come. They're all going to be cloud versions, but they will be coming to Switch. Village will be the first one, and I don't know why they do this, because they did it when they made 6, 5, and 4 to the PS4 and Xbox One. They go in reverse order, and I don't understand this, because Village is going to drop on October 28th. They had a bunch of farming sims. Some other intriguing ones, though. It Takes Two is coming to the Switch. That's a big one. And where is it? Sifu is coming to the Switch, which I did not see that coming. I'm going to be honest. And that's November 8th for Sifu. Like, that was really good to see.
Yeah, the only thing is that Sifu trailer, like them showing Sifu. Oh my god, it looks so bad. It's like that game you need every frame not to get your butt whooped.
I know. Oh, I know. It was like, it's great that they're getting a game like that. But at the same time, when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this ain't it, cuz.
That ain't it. Nate says the 8 is sideways for infinity. It's forever. Talking about Mario Kart 8.
It's never ending. Yeah, so getting to the ones that we want to talk about. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's third wave of DLC was detailed. While we wait for the third wave of DLC to hit Mario Kart 8, Nintendo served us an appetizer during today's Direct. That's because Nintendo revealed that Merry Mountain, a track from 2020's Mario Kart 2, the hiccups. Mario Kart Tour will hit the game as part of Wave 3 alongside Peach Gardens, a 2005 track from Mario Kart DS. So let's see that trailer.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Wave 3 is on the way. Here's a sneak peek at 2 courses racing into Wave 3. Merry Mountain from Mario Kart Tour.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Peach Gardens from Mario Kart DS.
There you go.
Wave 3 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass DLC for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game launches this holiday.
My gosh. What a mouthful.
Can that get any more of a mouthful?
Man. The courses look great, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they look really good.
Now, here's my question for you, though. Just noticing, because not so much in the first wave, but in the second wave, and now in this one, because they showed one track. Well, obviously, that we won't know all the tracks in Wave 3 until a little later. They've been really pushing Mario Kart Tour, and do you think that since that game didn't do as well, that they're trying to make people care about that, or do you? I don't get why they're trying to push so much Mario Kart Tour in these first couple waves of DLC.
I think it's because they have those tracks and they're not having to like recreate stuff, and it's stuff that people have not played as much compared to the other ones, so they're going to push that a lot harder.
Yeah. So I guess. So it was just something I noticed, because Wave 2 had a lot of Mario Kart Tour tracks, and I'm like, what's going on, y'all? Like, are you trying to make me care about a mobile game that didn't pan out?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But let's move on to the next one, Derek. We got some.
We thought the deluxe editions and the remasters were done. Like, I can't remember the last time we had a remastered Nintendo Switch game in a while. Probably wasn't that long ago, but it was definitely last year for sure.
Zelda.
Yeah. Which one?
I don't know. It's the one with Zelda in it.
Okay. You talking about no, that Anyway, yeah, that's true. With the dungeon, the 2D drop down. Anyway,
Yeah.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe Edition has been announced. Kirby announced that it was bringing an enhanced port of the 2011 Wii game Kirby's Return to Dreamland during today's Direct, and it looks great. Up to people can play cooperatively using Joy-Cons on the same system, and multiplayer is now also available in the expanded minigame collection. And it will be coming out February 24th of next year.
February is a good month. Let's take a look at that video.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is coming to Nintendo
I
Switch.
mean, are those bad guys? Why is Kirby hanging out
I
with
know.
the enemy?
One day, a spaceship
Return
crash
traitor.
lands on planet Popstar.
Clearly.
To help Magalore return to his home planet, Kirby and his friends set off on an adventure. In addition to sword, whip, and other familiar copy abilities, the new Mecha copy ability makes its debut. Blast foes
He's a
from a
Gundam?
distance, or punch them up close. It's packed with other powerful
I
moves
like
as
it.
well. The game supports
I
local
would
play for up to 4 players on
Only
the same
play as a
system.
Gundam.
Yeah.
Plus, everyone can play as Kirby while using their favorite copy abilities.
Everybody plays a Gundam.
There's also a collection of sub-games to play.
Is this
includes the
Wario
new
World?
sub-game Magalore's Tome Trackers.
Right.
And returning ones like Samurai Kirby.
What's it, Mario Party?
All
What is this?
sub-games can be played with up to 4 players.
Kirby Party?
An adventure of deluxe proportions awaits.
That's a big sword.
Kirby's Return
Yep.
to Dreamland Deluxe launches on the Nintendo Switch system February 24th, 2023. Pre-orders begin today on Nintendo eShop.
Looks
Solid.
good, especially for a decade-old plus game.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
that's
agree.
like, I wonder if they're now going to start, because we saw them port all the Wii U titles that did well, that
Mm.
not a lot of people, because there was only like 15 Wii U's that were bought in existence.
Yeah.
That no one played. So I wonder if they're going to start now doing some of like the Wii's greatest hits, maybe.
Possibly. But yeah, like it looks good. I like the Gundam ability. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm calling
Yeah.
it, Derek. That's what I'm calling it. Can't maybe call it anything else. We got one more Nintendo thing, but we can skip this one. Don't
Yeah,
y'all
no.
think?
I don't know why they ended with this one. This was, no one cares about this game.
Like who let us know, guys. You play that Zelda thing,
Yeah, no.
you know, like
Have some
this-
taste.
this dude running around in a green leotard, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all right. Set it up, Derek.
All right. The Legend of Zelda, formerly known as sequel to Breath of the Wild, now has an official title called Tears of the Kingdom. That's right. Finally, after years of waiting, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel has a title. Not only did we get this new title, but we got a trailer featuring gameplay as well as a May 12th release date. Now let's check out the trailer.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Something.
The princess.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to know what that big creature-looking thing was at the beginning. Is like, is that another enemy?
Ganondorf. Again.
Right. Ganondorf's cousin.
Ganondorf. There you go.
Now, were you more surprised that we got well, I shouldn't say no. Let's not. Let me rephrase that. Are you surprised that we got a title and a release date for this game? Because the way Nintendo drip feeds out their big heavy hitters, you only get one, and the fact that we got both surprised me. Like I was thinking, all right, Tears of the Kingdom, like okay, cool, we got the title, still 2023, and it's like, oh no, May 12th, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we got both of them. You know, like I was just happy with a name, but
Yeah,
then we got a date as well, which I'm happy because like this game has been sitting around for a while,
yeah.
and it's nice to know when it's actually going to be appearing on shelves and everything. Um,
Which
for the
leads
people
to
that
my. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Teach, can I can I ask a question?
No, we
Um,
don't do that here.
for the people that play Zelda, like, are you excited for this? Like, what are your hopes and dreams for Tears of the Kingdom? I want to say Tears for Fear, that
Yeah.
band. Um, what are you hoping that there's more stuff in the game? Like a lot of people love Breath of the Wild. They say that's their favorite and everything. It was just very empty to me. It
Yeah.
was huge, but it was really empty. There was a lot of cool gameplay mechanics. The puzzles were great, but it was very empty overall, in my opinion. So let us know down in the comments what are the things you're hoping and wanting from this entry for Zelda. Now,
Yeah.
Derek, what were your questions?
So you because you hit something, this game's been kind of sitting out there for a while. Do you think it hits that May 12th release date, or do you think it gets another delay?
Let's see, how far away is May?
8 months.
I think it
Six?
hits it.
Okay.
Nintendo's pretty good about like when they set a date, like they usually keep it. Like the Wii U era that was a little bit different, but
Yeah.
the Switch era has been pretty solid on all of that.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I think they're going to keep it.
It's usually when it doesn't have a date that it's more prone to get pushed. But now that they've put a date, I agree with you. I think they will hit it. But they have been known to say, Zelda, we want you to take its time. We're going to delay you.
Yeah. Well, this one, like I think Breath of the Wild was the tipping point for Zelda because before that, Zelda didn't sell that well. Zelda was not a seller.
Yeah.
It was, it was a lot of people's favorite games, but like overall, it did not commercially do as well as Mario did.
Yeah.
But when the Switch launched, because it was a launch title, there was a point in time where more people owned The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild than they did the Switch and everything. So I think, that being the start of this current console generation for Nintendo is a huge thing, and getting the sequel to that, it has a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
Has a lot.
1000%.
Yeah. Nate says more temples and more beautiful, peaceful scenery. So more barren wastelands.
Yeah. Because I know it was a vertical slice, but that trailer didn't show any more or didn't quell my thoughts of emptiness from the first game.
I did like the bird thing that you jump on. It reminded me of like old school Power Rangers, like when the Pink Ranger would get on the pterodactyl and everything. That's what it felt like. But guys, we know that this episode's been long.
Yeah.
But
we're glad that you stuck through it this long.
Yeah, we're gonna soldier on though, because we've come to what is mine and Derek's favorite part of the show. And everybody's like, these Sony ponies over here. These Sony ponies over here. Well, you know it, baby. The PlayStation news is up next. We had a state of play. We got a bunch of announcements. Derek is going to read through them. He's gonna bust them out. He's gonna bust the moves. So, Derek, take it away.
So to start off, we're going to get some of the minutia out of the way. Some of the stuff that, like the PlayStation Stars loyalty program to start rolling out this month. And they showed off some of the treats, it's like earning trophies and you get rewards. And my thing is, you already did it. And now granted, I know not everyone has a PS5, but if you played Astro's Playroom, you get PlayStation trophies, your collectibles throughout the game if you play it. So are you just expanding it to the people who can't get a PS5? Next up, where did it go? We got our first look at some PSVR 2 games. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy Edge, which is a sort of a port It will be coming, let's see, received a new gameplay trailer showing off a ton of different locations, enemies, and allies in the game. But that wasn't the only VR2 game we got. Demio, the cooperative dungeon crawling survival game, is officially coming to PlayStation VR2. Players can fully immerse themselves in the tabletop-esque world, rolling dice and dishing out cards in VR. AKA, this is D&D for VR. What was the next? This one looked intriguing. It's like Knight Rider, but with like a sort of like a suspenseful twist.
Mm-hmm.
Pacific Drive, the first title from Ironwood Studios, was announced, and will put players behind the wheel as they drive around what appears to be a post-apocalyptic version of the Pacific Northwest. Singuality is the latest game from Bandai Namco. It's a third-person shooter featuring mechs and an art style akin to Nier Automata, albeit a little bit more colorful. And then they had a trailer which is showed it gave a 2023 release window. Project Eve, which the game has been in development for quite some time, has been renamed Stellar Blade and will be coming next year. Where was the next one? Because I'm jumping around this article here. Okay, this one, we got a tease of it at EVO, but they officially unveiled it now. Tekken 8 was officially revealed, and it was actually what started the state of play, and that's a great way to start it. A release date wasn't shared for the game, but the trailer did only mention a PlayStation 5 release for the game, meaning the latest entry in the classic fighting game series may be next-gen only. So it may be leaving with what, because people were speculating if that was in-game or not. And I think they came out and said that was part of in-game. It was running off the engine footage that they're using for the game, and that game looked really well done for a fighting game. So it would only make sense to put it on next gen, because probably it would melt the PS4 and the Xbox One. I think that's all. Oh, Yakuza, a new Yakuza game, and now there will be more Yakuza news coming, but that will be at the Tokyo Game Show news that we will talk about next week. But tied you over, Yakuza's Ishin spin-off game getting a Western release date. It will be in the form of Like a Dragon. The game is coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 February. And they said, what game was it? I was reading today. I wish I remembered it now. That some games similar to this released, and that made them feel comfortable enough to put it in the West. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Maybe I'll remember. Who knows? But
who knows? Now
let's get to the stuff that you really want to know. Starting off with, let me make sure I know I'm not jumping the gun here. Aha, I'm not. Hogwarts Legacy, because remember we talked about it in the PlayStation Quickies last week, and we wondered, why didn't they make this a focal point at any point during any of the trailers, any of the release, because PlayStation's had the marketing rights to this game for a while. But finally, we get an answer to the PlayStation Legacy, or Hogwarts Legacy is getting a PlayStation exclusive quest. The upcoming Harry Potter universe game, Hogwarts Legacy, was shown off during the state of play and showed off its Hogsmeade-centered quest involving a spooky shop and its creepy basement. And we have a trailer for you.
Hello, Madam Mason. I
Honey
understand you have a
Dukes.
shop to sell.
I think you will find my terms quite generous.
It's like, how does a kid
the
have enough
catch?
money to buy it?
Right.
You are wise to be wary.
Why is your mistress selling the shop?
She has had rotten bad luck with the last few tenants.
Those who came before you just could not seem to escape the darkness. Will you?
Gotta love evil puppets,
Yeah.
mannequins.
Kankuro, is that you? Sasori?
Watch your step.
So, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
Derek.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you excited?
it is intriguing to see this, but you know, I kind of had raised the question. I was like, this feels like very old school, like, oh, get exclusive things on, even though a third party game gets exclusive content only on this one. Like, yeah, it makes sense for multiplayer games, but exclusive like story based stuff was always kind of weird to me in third party games. Um, while I feel like this was intriguing, I feel like this will be like most like back in that era. I bring that up to say this. I feel like this is going to be one of those missions where cheap isn't the right word, but it's going to be one of those throwaway quests where it's like, okay, cool, you played it, you know, you get bragging rights, but then you play it and it's like, it's okay. It was a throwaway. Like, you're not going to remember it. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's going to be meaningful to the story.
Yeah, that's what it definitely feels like. It feels like it's, you know,
pandering to the fans.
It's just thrown together. That's what it feels like to me. It just feels thrown together.
Yeah.
Murdoch says not worth a PS5. Now, that's for PS4 as well, right?
Yeah, Legacy is coming to PS5 and PS4.
Yeah, so you don't have to have a PS5 for it. You can have a PS4 as well. But hey, you know, you can play. This is coming to PC and Xbox. You know, so this is like on all things. This is not just an exclusive to PlayStation, which I'm actually kind of excited for this game. You know,
yeah,
even though it doesn't have Quidditch.
Yeah, exactly. But something that will be up your alley and more intriguing, because we alluded to it earlier when we were talking about Assassin's Creed. Neo developer announces open world samurai game Rise of the Ronin. Neo developer Team Ninja has announced an open world samurai game as a PlayStation 5 console exclusive. The terminology means it'll come to PC as well. With a 2024 release window, a trailer showed off the gorgeous world set during the modernization period of Japan, and we have that trailer for you right here.
I already love it. I'm gonna just tell you. Everybody uses them eagles or hawks.
I know.
Let's go. Feel Rurouni Kenshin up in here.
I literally said that. I'm like, man, Rurouni Kenshin, the game looks great.
The black ships appeared without warning, and our nation began to tear itself apart. Those who cleave to the past, those who embrace the new, and the Ronin, a warrior free of all masters and bonds.
Now that's dope. That's dope.
When I first saw that, I'm like, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
Yeah.
As your blades carve a new future.
Boom, son. He'll have a headache in the morning.
Your time has come.
That smile, a little smirk.
As one.
Yep. It's like, you think you have me, you really don't.
You don't know, you're already dead.
You're already under my genjutsu. So granted, so a couple things run through my head when I see this, right? Because the game looks great. Like, yeah, not as much gameplay as we got from Where Winds Meet. I'll get to that in just a moment. Because that is a question I have for you. I'm surprised that we got a game this far out with a release date, because usually when Sony usually shows stuff that's within the next calendar year, and anything outside of that calendar year, they don't put a date on. Like Wolverine, that you can easily assume that's going to be 2025 at the earliest, because Spider-Man 2 is next year. That's going to be 2025 at the earliest, and they didn't put a date on it. So I'm wondering why they decided, it's like, hey, 2024, granted, we're almost done with 2022, but we still got over a year before that game comes out. But I wanted to pose this question to you. Now, we all know once Ghost of Tsushima 2 comes out, whenever that is, it's going to be king of Japan style, or like that era style of games. But, and I forget if Where Winds Meet has a title, or not a title, a release date, and if it's next year. I feel like it is next year. But what gets, like, just say, for instance, that Where Winds Meet gets delayed to 2024. What will you be more excited for? That or Rise of the Ronin?
Where's Winds Meet?
Yeah.
Like, it looks way more polished. Like, the magic system that is in Where Winds Meet, like, that was super intriguing.
Yeah.
Way of the Ronin looks great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it is, like, we got way more of Where Winds Meet.
Oh,
and, like, Way of the Ronin looks cool, but, like, the traversal, the movement, the dialogue, like, we don't know enough yet for Way of the Ronin, but I think it's going to be solid. My only concern is because of the developer that it is, the ones that made Neo. Is it going to be that Souls-like combat?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. That is my only qualm. Like, Neo was a great game. I played a little bit of the first one, and a lot of people liked it. I just am not about that Souls-like gameplay. I don't like the unforgiving nature of it and everything. So if it's that, definitely where Winds Meet and everything. So
now, and I have another question for you because this just popped in my head. For because I think Where Winds Meet is next year, like
yes, it's spring. It's late 2023.
Oh, late? I thought it was spring, but anyway, it is next year, so I was right. So we don't know when in 2024 Rise of the Ronin is going to meet, but I'm just throwing this out here because Sucker Punch, we don't know what they're doing next, and this is by the time 2024 comes close, it'll be about that time period because you got to think these sequels that are starting to roll out. Horizon Forbidden West came out almost exactly 5 years to the date from Zero Dawn. God of War Ragnarok, while not to the date, it came out over 4.5 years from when 2018 launched. By the time Spider-Man launches, it'll have been about a good 5 years almost.
Yeah.
It'll be about time because Tsushima launched in 2020. It'll be about that time to announce a sequel for 2024. If that happens, will you even give Rise of the Ronin a shot?
Oh yeah, I'll give it a shot. Again, it all depends on the gameplay.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this. I would not expect Ghost to be as quick as you're thinking because of all the COVID stuff. That's going to push back the release, like that window of 5 years and everything. So that's my only thought on that side of things. But yeah, like if Where Winds Meet, Where the Ronin and Ghost are all in the same, it would go Ghost, Where Winds Meet, and then Way of the Ronin.
Okay. But hey, we're going to get our fill of Japan/Asia for a good number of years. So
and then Assassin's Creed
exactly
come out as well.
So we ain't complaining.
It's going to be the new World War II destination.
Which that also begs, like, just we don't have to linger on this question for too long, but it's like, do you think with all these Asia/Japan style games that have been coming out over the last couple of years, because Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, Wolong Dynasty, a couple other Asian,
Sekiro.
They're more Chinese centric, but do you think those will start to get stale after a while? Because all of a sudden they're starting to drop almost every year now.
I think it will. I think it's like anything else. I think it's like Marvel movies or, like eventually it will go stale. But to Murdoch's question, I don't know 100% when the PC is going to release, but I did look up how this developer has put things out in the past, and it is launched on console and PC on the same day and date. So this is they're not owned by PlayStation, but they have rights to it, exclusivity rights to it. So I think you'll see a day and date of PlayStation and PC whenever this comes out.
Sifu was the same way.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go.
But now we get to the announcement of, or the one that matters, the one trailer to rule them all. But before that, we got a little side adventure because we got some more Ragnarok. Just when you thought that Game Informer's coverage wasn't enough, we got a big story trailer for God of War Ragnarok. However, there was a little bit of accessory news. If you want to show that, Zach. So, yep, we got a DualSense. We got our first limited edition DualSense controller for the and it was with God of War Ragnarok. Now, it does look cool, and if it has God of War on it, I do want it. But I told you this off air, Zach. My only gripe with this is if you did not know, if you just looked if you were just in a vacuum and you walked by in a store and you saw this, would you think that would be God of War? Would you assimilate that with God of War? Like, because I wouldn't. I would just be like, it's a cool picture with wolves on it. I don't know what this is, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. You know, I'm not going to pretend like I would, because it doesn't have like the Omega symbol or any like Norse runes on it.
Right.
You know, the Leviathan, like the PlayStation 4, the one that you got. That's the God of War PS4 and like the controller. Yeah. Oh my God, that thing is amazing.
Yep.
This one's just kind of like, put some blue on it, put some wolves on it, and we're good to go. But it's like we're such slim pickings with cool things for the PlayStation peripherals that it's like, well, that's good enough. And it's like, yeah.
We'll take anything at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I was thinking about it. It's like last gen for both consoles were way cooler with like exclusive, like the cool legendary editions of the consoles and everything. So, you know.
Yeah. So, but that wasn't all God of War had to offer. They showed us a epic story trailer. Like when I watched this, because I was hesitant to add this in, and then when I talked to you earlier, you're like, yeah, I watched it. I'm like, okay, cool, because I didn't know if you wanted to see any more of this, but we're gonna show this off to you because it looks dope.
Everyone keeps secrets.
It's crazy to hear how much his voice has changed.
Sometimes it's the only way to protect the ones we love.
I'm assuming that's like right as they get back.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
God killer.
What is it you want from me? Is it a god of war we came to find?
You don't really want war, do you, Kratos? All that blood on your hands, on your son's hands.
What is it you will not tell me?
I can't talk about it, but I just need you to trust me.
Sounds so much like his dad.
I know.
And still I follow. Because all that matters is that you are safe.
But that's not all that matters.
Mistletoe.
Who's keeping you safe?
I do not need you to protect me.
Sure about that?
Pretender god.
It's like, how are the Valkyries there?
I know.
When it earns me.
Or these new Valkyries?
Probably. That has to be Helheim.
Yeah.
Do you even know of God's word? In your lifetimes, has anyone ever worshipped you? Ever prayed to you? Can you even imagine that kind of love? No!
I don't even know how you're gonna fight that.
Yourself. Beyond the monster who kills without cause.
So we are going back to Alfheim.
Yep.
Fate only binds you if you let it.
I wonder if they're opening up a realm.
Do what is necessary. Not because it is written.
That's
Dang.
terrifying.
That looks so cool. Dude, let's go! Dude.
Oh, that fight is going to be epic.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Our God of War Ragnarok counter is at the bottom of the screen right now. 54 days, 3 hours, 45 minutes.
Under 60 days. Let's go, baby.
Derek.
Yeah.
What is your biggest takeaway from that trailer?
That they're not just because rightfully or wrongfully, they're comparing this to the original trilogy. Like one came out, took the world by storm, and then two came out. It was good, but a lot of people said it just felt like more of the first one. And while this does like some gameplay aspects and some other elements, feels like it's just like not a by the numbers sequel, but just more of the first one. Like they're from a story perspective, it doesn't seem like they're resting on their laurels, because I have some theories, because that person in the doorway, like, do you think that's Big Daddy himself? Like,
yeah. Okay, I got theories, Derek, as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Odin always appears as a traveler.
Yeah.
Like this, meek traveler and all of that, because he puts people off guard. So that's him. And that voice that's kind of like weird, like frail, kind of old man voice. That's him. He's not this husky, voice or anything like that. It ain't Anthony Hopkins. It's this, a weak dude sounding dude. And then he's just like, wham, I'm Odin.
Yeah. Now, because, I know you had a theory about like Kratos becomes Tyr, but that is Tyr. I didn't want to.
Yeah, that is Tyr. Yeah.
But were you more insinuating that Tyr's going to die in the game and then Kratos takes over his mantle as the Norse God of War?
I think he does.
Okay.
Because there's a theory that Kratos becomes Tyr, or Kratos is Tyr, and like because Tyr has been able to, and we saw in the original God of War 2018, like Tyr had visited like Egypt and different places.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the trajectory of what's going to happen with Kratos and everything. So
okay.
I think that's what's going to happen here. And plus Tyr is known to time travel.
Yeah,
that's one of his powers and everything. So the rope that he cuts off and everything is like this unbreakable rope in Norse mythology that Odin binds Tyr with.
Oh, okay.
So that's a huge thing right there.
Okay.
And then the two wolves, they chase the sun and the moon.
Right.
So it's Atreus. Well, you know who he really is. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody.
Wolves. So that's what he was doing. He was changing the time of day.
Yeah, like he was setting up what actually, like they're chasing the moon and the sun and all that kind of stuff.
That looked like an eclipse. So I wonder how that's going to play out.
Well, I was just playing the part where you get the chisel. And Mimir was talking about like the time. There was that thing that was going up, and
That's what he meant.
Yeah, he was talking about the wolves chasing the sun and the moon. That's those wolves that chase the sun and the moon. Like,
got you, yeah.
Because they're Loki's children.
Okay, got you.
There's a lot of timey-wimey junk in this thing.
So now I have a couple other questions for you. Do you think, because Odin always looks as a traveler, do you think he ever to try and swindle Kratos and Atreus at some point? Do you think he impersonates at any point Tyr, that he is Tyr, to like to try and get in on what they're trying to do?
No, because he has eyes everywhere. The crows.
Yeah.
Like they're constantly like even in the first game, like they're constantly everywhere. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
Him showing up as the traveler and not in his god form is him trying to talk Kratos out of doing something foolish, actually challenging his power in this realm. Because I think he's afraid. Like for Odin to do that, he's afraid, because I'm curious, like, is this before or after the fight with Thor?
Yeah, like, because I don't want it to end up being like the same, like episodes, like crossing streams here, like Star Wars, like episode 4 to episode 7, right? Like some of the same plot line.
Yeah.
I don't want them to get home after a strenuous mission and then a knock on the door, like how 2018 starts, and it's Odin, like another mystery person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be like in a dream or something. But what was very interesting was him bringing up, have you ever been worshipped?
Yeah, I know, because we know Kratos, and like, especially when you get to the part where you have to go to Helheim, Kratos cares nothing for the gods, even though he's part god himself. He, from his experiences, especially with old daddy Zeus, that he has been manipulated, betrayed by the gods. He cares nothing for them. And that's why, like, even in the beginning, like Atreus mentions is like not worshiping, but in awe of the gods. And Kratos is like, they're nothing special. Don't basically I'd never meet your heroes type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and we're about to find out that that's gonna be the thing. And like, so it's interesting that he poses like, you hate the gods, but is that because, I wonder if Odin like this is like, you hate the gods, but is that because you were never worshipped like we were?
Yeah.
Especially for the, like, for, even though like, especially like with the way God of War 3 ended, Kratos left Greece in ruins. Like there was nothing, there was practically nothing left of that game, or of that city or country. So for right or for wrong, Kratos acts of like whether they're acts of, you know, terrorism or acts of heroism, he never got the proper praise for it. Now, whether he cares about it or not, it does pose an interesting question. But I have another one for you. Obviously, we can defer that when like what Atreus means, like, you just have to trust me, like whatever, like I can't tell you what it is, but obviously it's referring to the panel at the end that we see of the game that leaves a lot open for interpretation. Like we don't know the context, we just see this mural depicting these characters, and we're left to wonder what's going to happen. So obviously that has part to play in it. Like I don't know if Atreus figures it out or that weighs on his mind and he starts to get part answers and he doesn't like where it's potentially going to go. So he's like, I need to find answers. Obviously, that's what he's keeping from Kratos. But do you think he makes a deal with Odin or with Thor or with Freya? Because we learned that Freya kind of turns on him for certain reasons at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Do you think he tries to make a deal with one of those three gods against Kratos, and he doesn't want to tell him because he knows what it involves a god, and Kratos wants nothing to do with it?
I don't think, you know, Atreus will, you know, betray Kratos. I don't think that's the play
no.
here.
He won't betray him, but I'm just saying, to do right by his father, he has to get his hands dirty.
Yeah, like I think he's going to get his hands dirty. I think it's more of his powers. It's more of like what he's starting to piece things together. The wolves are a big part of that. Figuring out this, like the giant serpent, you know, the world snake.
Yeah.
I think like he's going to start piecing things together, and that he's part giant, part god. Like that's a very big mix of powers and everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of what he is capable of. He's afraid of that.
That's true.
I think it's more of that than anything else.
What was I was gonna that brings up another question. We have yet to see the world serpent in this at any point in the trailers, and as far as I can remember, obviously I have to beat the game again. World Serpent doesn't die by the end of the game. Like he helps in the final fight, but he doesn't die. So it's like, what happens? We know like part of what Ragnarok is the World Serpent fighting Thor. That's in all modern mythology. But we have yet to see the World Serpent. Like we know the Lake of the Nine is frozen in a lot of the trailers. We don't know at what point, but it is frozen. Do you think the World Serpent dies in this game? And that's why, because we see, like, especially in like when it got a release date, we saw Fenris or Fenrir, you know, like the big wolf. Do you think that takes over as the World Serpent? Like that's the substitute for the World Serpent?
So like mythology wise, the World Serpent and Thor fight and they kill each other. Or he kills Thor. Like it's pretty much just mutual destruction. From what I remember. I think that is like where you're seeing Kratos fighting Thor, and then the World Serpent comes in to like fight as well. And I think that's where you see them, you know, duke it out and everything. I think it's like, hey, we don't have to show the World Serpent because you saw him all the last game. You know what I mean? True. It's like we're going to show you all the new stuff, and where, you know, like Freya is a main character, so we're going to show her. But it's like we don't have to show you anything about the World Serpent. He's there. You know what I mean? Like he didn't die.
Or it could be detrimental. Like it could probably be that they don't want to show him because it gives away too much story.
Yeah, exactly. And Dan, you got a good point because we are going to see him, Shooter, in this, I'm sure, because we're going to go to Asgard. It's during Ragnarok. Shooter is the one that destroys Asgard.
Yep.
So, and because we've already been to Muspelheim.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
everything. So, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot here. There's a lot here.
We can talk. We can almost make it its own show.
Yeah, definitely. But guys, we're gonna jump into the quick hits. Let us know what you thought about the God of War Ragnarok trailer. This is gonna be the last trailer. I won't just tell you. Like they might do a hype trailer of what we've all seen, but
Either
I don't think we get anything else.
Yeah, because now, well, I was gonna say, or maybe like that focus, like state of play that with Horizon and whatnot, but because Game Informer's doing their month-long coverage of this, they might just use that as a substitute instead of doing a state of play.
Yeah, I don't want anything else. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like I'm satiated. I just want these 54 days and 3 hours and 34 minutes to get over with, so we can get this game and I can get my 5 guys.
Exactly. Oh Lord. All right, so we're gonna do the PlayStation quickies first, and then I think we'll just transition into the quick hits right after that. That way we can just talk about what we want to, because there's not a lot of quick hits this time around. So with the PlayStation quickies, the latest PS5 system update also added a new feature to trophies that lets you reveal all hidden trophies with one click of the button. Deviation Games announces the departure of co-founder Jason Blundell. David Harbour from Stranger Things will star in the upcoming Gran Turismo film. Babylon's Fall servers will officially be shutting down on February 27th. Stray is getting a standard physical edition release for PS5 on September the 20th. That's just 5 days from now. While the PS4 version will take a little longer and come out November 8th. Forspoken's main campaign will take approximately 30 to 40 hours to complete. The Last of Us multiplayer game set in, quote, dense city with lots of detail, hence resume of ex-Naughty Dog staffer. And God of War Ragnarok includes 60-plus accessibility features. Now, moving on to the quick hits. The Hitman movie from James Gunn was pitched just weeks before he was hired for Guardians of the Galaxy. Ridgeline Games, established by EA to work on narrative campaign in the Battlefield universe. Battlefield creative director Lars Gustafsson is leaving DICE after 20 years. EA Originals partners with Dynasty Warrior Studio for a new Monster Hunter-like game. Radic Engine, trademarked by Square Enix in Japan. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins Wanderer of the Rift DLC will be coming out October 26th. Square Enix is open to joint ventures on or taking a minority stake in its own studios due to rising development costs. Overwatch 2 heroes will need to be unlocked on the Battle Pass's free track. Rockstar has seemingly waved goodbye to Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online. Splatoon 3 had the best launch ever for a Switch game in Japan. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty expansion won't be on last-gen consoles. 343 Industries head Bonnie Ross leaving the studio. Gears of War pledges 1% of all future revenue to suicide prevention charities. Xbox owners can finally connect to Discord voice chats from their consoles. The Xbox app for PC now tells you how long it takes to beat a game. Halo Season 2 has now begun filming. Nintendo reassures fans that Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp isn't canceled. And finally, The Sims 4 is going free to play on October 18th.
Okay. I only want to really hit one of these. There's a lot in there. I want to talk about Overwatch 2, but
I figured that's where you were going to go.
I want to talk about that, but there's one that is more important to me right now because I play it every week, and that is Bonnie Ross leaving 343 Industries.
Mm-hmm.
She was a founder and the head of the studio.
Yep.
She has been there the whole run of 343 being over
the Halo franchise.
In her reasoning why she left, there was health issues of her family, which we pray for her whole family, thoughts and prayers. We want them to get better and everything. Do you think we've seen a lot of people leave 343? We've seen a lot of people, jump ship and everything. Where do you see 343 going? We kind of talked about this on our stream Tuesday night when we were playing Halo.
Yeah.
But it is a Microsoft owned studio,
Mhm.
which Microsoft, it's kind of one of those too big to fail studios.
Yeah.
Microsoft will close a studio. They are not afraid to do that.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the path forward for 343?
I think I don't want to say it's positive, but I think having new blood coming in here will help. Will definitely be interesting for the Halo franchise in the sense that, all right, whether like whatever kind of new blood they bring in, whether they've been Halo fans or whether they're just, coming in because they're good at shooters or online multiplayer games, that kind of thing, I think will help add to and help maybe get back on track the development of Halo Infinite. Now, whether like what that brings or like any new Halo games after that, we'll see. But I think, it was health issues, but I wonder if this was related to all the stress of the development of Halo Infinite, especially over the last calendar year, where they've been having trouble getting out seasonal content and like making the season so long and with the multiplayer and whatnot. And then there's like added stress with, well, maybe are we going to do story DLC because the end credit scene left a lot open to wonder. It's like, all right, what's going to happen from here. I think, health issues were caused by the stress of the development because, they came out and I think their first game was Halo 4, correct?
Yes, it was Halo 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right after Reach.
So, Halo 4, was met with criticism. Halo 5 was met with heavy skepticism. Master Chief Collection came out and was a mess at launch. So I think all of that has built up to where I think health issues, and I think she was just, I don't want to say tired of it, but I think it just got to her in the sense of like, hey, look, it's affecting my health now, all the stress from up top and all the fan demand from this storied franchise. I need to step away. So I think it definitely pray for her in terms of that it only goes upward. But I think it'll be good for the Halo franchise. I'm not trying to make that sound distastefully or anything, but maybe some new blood will help right the ship for Halo, because Infinite, we talked about it. Infinite had a great launch, but ever since then, it has been a shifting tide.
Yeah, 100%. So one thing that Nate said in here is that another person left literally yesterday that was on their engine development team, which is David Berger. He built 343's engineering team of 120 engineers from the ground up and led development on Infinite's Slipspace game engine and shipped Halo 4, 5, and Infinite with 343.
Yeah.
That's another blow right there.
Yeah.
And apparently like Slipspace, I've seen it in Screaming Nate's talking about how hard it is to develop on that they might switch over to Unreal Engine, which I think that they could, but I think that is another title. I don't think that that's Infinite that they're going to do that with, or a huge major update, because they're going to have to rebuild every asset.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're going to do that right away. I think that's a long-term goal. Here's my thoughts, and I said this on stream on Tuesday. This is what I think they're going to do, Derek. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Okay. I want Halo Infinite to do well. I love playing Halo Infinite. It's the most fun I've had in a very long time of playing any game.
Done?
I don't think it's done, but I think it's dying, unfortunately.
Oof.
But they're going to do something that I think is not good for two studios. They're going to move somebody that is major from the Coalition
Yep.
over to Halo, and they will take over, and it will still not do as well because the ship is already out of the port, and they're trying to correct the course and everything, and they don't even have a captain right now. It's just been one issue after another, and it's sad because they had so many things, but if it was not a live service, I don't think that this would have been a problem. I think if they would have made it just a regular Halo game and not tried to shoehorn in live service, they wouldn't be having this problem, because the expectation with live services is to have events and a battle pass that is 3 to 4 weeks long, you know, and that's, you know, not even 3 to 4 weeks long, like 12 weeks at max. And that's what we're not getting, you know, 3 to 4 every year. And that's not what we're getting right now. We're getting 2 a year.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a third one, or 2.5.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hope that Bonnie Ross and whatever's going on with family members or herself, that she gets, you know, better, that her family member gets better and everything. I don't think, you know, I think this was just this is going on. All of these other things, like I don't need this added stress, like you were saying. And she was just like, I'm gonna just take this time and I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah.
Because I just can't take it anymore. And then, you know, I really think they're going to bring somebody in from the coalition, because they keep doing that and it annoys the mess out of me, because I want the coalition to focus on their own game, because they're great at doing it.
I know. We'll see, because that's a good point. Like, when will we see Gear 6? Like, we're about due for it, but now it's like, well, with all this going on, if they're restructuring that own studio, or like moving pieces around in that studio, it's like, how is that affecting development there?
Yeah, 100%. So,
because the coalition, like, even if they're not moving pieces, they're still sending people to help with other projects, and it's like, what about your own? Like, are y'all good?
Yeah, because it's like constantly we're talking about coalition working on and helping other people and everything. And I know they're a larger development team, but it's like you only have so many resources to be able to work on. So, but there you go, guys. That is our episode for this week. We hope that you enjoyed it. A ton of stuff, and we didn't even cover it all. Let us know what your favorite story was, what you're most excited to see, and make sure to watch us live over on twitch.tv/NerdCave Network on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, or check out the video when it's on the replay. And you can check us live out on Monday and Tuesday as well. We hang out, we play games, we have a good time, and we play Halo on Tuesdays, as long as the servers stay open. And guys, make sure to go check out the podcast versions that you can see all the way around the world. Give us a 5-star review. And if you want to support us financially, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave, pick the tier that best fits you, and go over to Epic Game Store. Use our creator code NerdCave at checkout for all your V-Bucks, your Brawler Bucks, your Rocket League Season 8 pass, getting them Sony games on that PC. You know what I'm talking about. All those beautiful, beautiful bean footage. You can get it there. NerdCave is our creator code over on the Epic Game Store. Derek, defender of the Bifrost Daniels. I enjoyed it. We've held off Helheim, Niflheim, Muspelheim,
Alfheim,
all the Heims. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of them.
Even Heimdall.
Even him, we took his sword away from him. He was like, you don't get the sword anymore. you let that one person in.
Exactly.
You let that one person in. No more sword for you. No more sword for you. But guys, we hope you enjoyed it. This has been Zach.
And Defender of the Bifrost.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye.